said it's no nothing, no pornography. It was no nudity, no anything in the movies. So I said, okay.
This is the plaintiff, Shalira Taylor. She says she owns a marketing company in Cleveland, Ohio, and says she created and managed a website for the defendant's bikini model business. She did everything she was hired to do. She created social media accounts for him, which generated high traffic, and now the guy refuses to pay her. How dare he? She's suing for $5,505, the amount she's owed for work performed. This is the defendant, Edward Frazier. He says he met the plaintiff at a bar pre-corona, and she was running for Congress in Ohio. He hired her to create and run a 53-second ad for his film, Celebrity Bikini Model. She has some nerve suing him. And if anyone's owed money today, it's 100% not her. He's accused of not being a model client. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $6,000 for lost wages.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Taylor, talk to me. What is it you do for a living?
Hello, hola, Judge, ¿cómo está? I wanted to say hello, and I do marketing and promotions for a living. I met the defendant at my friend's restaurant, Hibachi Restaurant, which is downtown Cleveland, and he was interested in donating to my campaign. He said, and he wanted to hire
What was
me
your campaign? What was your campaign?
I was running for Congress at the time in District 11.
Good for you.
Here in Cleveland. Thanks.
Okay.
And so, as he said, pre-corona, I think it was March 2nd, and he gave me his card and said, hey, I have a movie coming out, and I would like to donate to your campaign. I said, oh, that's great. I have a marketing company, and here's my card. And he said, oh, that's awesome. Well, maybe you can help me market my movie. And I said, sure, maybe I can. So then,
what kind of movie was this?
So it was behind the scenes. I haven't seen it, but the way it was explained to me, it was behind the scenes bikini photo shoot. So think of Sports Illustrated photo shoot, but it was behind the scenes. So that he was speaking to the girls. They were interviews, like going on set, and everything that goes behind the scenes of a photo shoot. And so he said he had celebrities in his movies and other local models, and he gave me a video of an older movie that said, and he said that wasn't the movie that he created, but it was going to be something similar like it. And I said, okay, that's fine. He said it's no nothing, no pornography. It was no nudity, no anything in the movies. So I said, okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
So you proposed to him that you would do the following. You would get paid $50 for a Facebook ad, $25 for Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube social media setup. And then this third one is the lion's share, which is social media marketing, estimated 62 million in total reach on Facebook. Now, that says quantity 30, price 166. So that would be to keep the ad up for 30 days?
Correct. So that would,
and it would cost him $166 a day. And
yes.
How do you make your money? Because
so $66 a day goes directly towards me, and the $100 goes towards the actual ad company. that I ended
Okay.
up purchasing later on.
All right. So then what happens?
I was asked to look into some of the options in promoting his website and his movie. And he said, well, how about social media? So then I said, okay, well, we could do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. He didn't have any social media set up for anything. So I told him that he should have social media, and he should have somebody also run his social media. So at that point, he said, okay, it sounds good. We should move forward with the Facebook, social media, Instagram. And so it wasn't just ads on Facebook. I was supposed to handle his social media for 30 days. So,
Right, I got it.
put
So he
content up.
agrees to the
Yeah.
price, and we know that because he gives you a deposit of how much? $1,100?
$1,100. So the agreement was.
All right, and then what goes wrong? Because apparently Facebook and Twitter and all that, they didn't want that content on their platforms because what? They said it was too racy.
It was too racy, according to Facebook and other mainstream media. So we went to Yahoo and Verizon and other mainstream media that it was too racy. That even applied anything applied sexual. They even sent art. So even like the Statue of David wouldn't be accepted as promotion on Facebook. So they were really strict. Then Mr. Frazier suggested that we advertise on X sites. And so I said, okay, well, I never advertised.
Was that
on
your
XX
idea,
sites.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes, one of my other associates gave me that idea. But as she indicated, it's not an adult website. It's just ladies, celebrities, modeling in bikinis.
Well, yeah. All right. So once you put that site up, you then said to him, your next payment is due in accordance with the email or the invoice that you had sent him, saying that once you launch social media and Facebook ad, another $2,500 was due.
Yes.
And you, Mr. Frazier, felt that that was wrong.
Yes.
To keep it running. And you, Mr. Frazier, felt that she hadn't earned it. Tell me what your complaints are about her services.
Well, I was kind of dissatisfied with these service that was rendered. So I told her that I paid like she indicated, I paid $1,200. $200 was for the ads to be created, and $1,000 was for advertising. And so, as she indicated, it was $166 a day, which I paid for. But the ad was only on Pornhub for 1 day, and so it was taken off like the very next day. So I didn't even get the 6 days.
Yeah, it was taken off by her because you didn't, right, but it was taken off by her because you refused to pay the other $2,500. Now, there's one thing we skipped, which is that at some point during this continuum, he asked you to create a trailer for his movie, correct?
Yes, yes.
And that was a separate charge. What were you supposed to pay her, Mr. Frazier, for the movie? For the trailer for the movie?
We already had a trailer for the movie, so I didn't really need a new trailer created. We already had a trailer for the movie.
So why did you ask her to create one if you didn't need one?
I never asked her to create one. We already had a trailer for the movie. It's on my website. So I paid two other ladies to create the trailer
as well too. So he did ask.
Can I see the emails? Just a second. Let's just take a look at the emails regarding the trailer or the text. It was actually in text, wasn't it?
Yes, correct. It was in text message.
March 18th. At your convenience, let's create a great trailer. That's you to her. With the right trailer, we can make a few $1 million in a short amount of time. I am still interested in acquiring half of your company. Wow, you guys just race. You don't even know each other. How much will that cost?
I was not gonna.
No, I know, but that was kind of nutty.
Yeah.
When we have some success with the movie, one of my objectives will be for you to become Congresswoman. Was he sweet on you, do you think?
Yes, Yes, he was texting
Okay.
me sweetheart, and he said he wanted to take me out and date me, and I told him that I was in a relationship, and I wasn't on that.
Well, he's
So
got you
I
in
think
one
it was
text,
more of
making
that.
millions of dollars, becoming congresswoman, and investing in your company. I'm ready to aggressively advertise, he says the next day. Well, I hope you're okay. However, if I don't hear from you soon, I will assume you no longer want to do business with me. Gracious. And then you answer, all is well, thank you. Let's talk about your trailer today. It will be $1,500 for a trailer with no voiceover, just words and music. Let me know when you are available to speak. And then you say, she said that the trailer will be complete today. So how is it that you did not order a trailer for $1,500?
I didn't think it was really necessary to do the trailer because I already had one.
Well, then why were you giving her the business of doing the trailer? Did you have something else in mind that didn't exactly work out? Let's look at the trailer. So you end up creating the trailer, correct?
Yes, and further down, I'd send him the trailer, and he said, "Hey, I like the trailer.
Okay.
I like it better than
But the
the other
trailer was
woman's
exactly like the
trailer."
one I already had. It just had different music in it.
It was
Okay.
cleaned up. It was a few things, and I kept asking for more content so I can create a completely different trailer, but I never received it.
Okay.
I don't know if you have the other trailer as well.
What are you
too.
looking at? Yeah, it's not going to end up on Facebook or traditional media. Yeah. Okay. I think we got the gist. All right. Great. Wonderful. All right. So you create
So-
the trailer for him, and
And there was
that's
a trailer before that.
$1,500.
Yes.
What did he end up doing when he wouldn't pay the money and you put it on pause? He tried to get the information, according to you. Tell me about that.
Correct. So that Friday, I explained to him that in order to keep the site running, that he would have to give me either $2,500 or at least $1,500 to keep it running for the next 15 days. Um, then he said that he would go and adversely affect my business because of the fact that I adversely affect his business by not providing him the login information for the Traffic Junkie website. So I've given him and I provided him with all the other login information to all the other sites that I created for him, but not the Traffic Junkie because it was my own company's information on there. So my credit card
Right.
information and everything. So
Well, also, the idea is that you're going to run it and that he's paying you $166. You're paying them $100, so the 66 is
Right.
supposed to be your profit for every day that
Correct.
it's up. Right.
Correct.
Okay, so go on. And then what is he? He
Yeah.
actually says something to you about your race for Congress, doesn't he?
Yes. So he said that he was going to contact Marsha Fudge, which is the congressperson that I was running against in this district, and tell them that I didn't give him his money back. He then went to the Better Business Bureau and said that he paid for 3 advertisements in which that he did not receive from me, which was a total bold-faced lie. They
All right,
ended
let
up
me talk to
throwing
you, Mr.
out-
Frazier. Mr. Frazier, tell me about why you feel that you don't owe her any money.
Well, as I indicated previously, I was dissatisfied with the service that was rendered. So therefore, I just wanted to handle the marketing of the website myself. So basically,
What were you
I paid
dissatisfied
her-
with?
Well, as you stated earlier, I paid to be on different sites like Instagram, Facebook. I didn't really. Our agreement was not for me to be on Pornhub, but it ended up being
Right,
on
but that was
site.
your idea. So what did you think you were going to pay for that? You have to pay something. People don't work for free. So when you come up with putting it on all these different sites, then what did you think you were going to pay? I mean, if you looked at her and said, listen, I was willing to pay you $166 a day for Facebook. Facebook rejected us, so now let's try to put it on these XXX sites, but I'm not willing to pay you $166. I'm willing to pay you $125. If you had told her something or renegotiated, that'd be fine, but all you did was give her the idea, let's go put it on this other stuff. And she said, okay, and then she did. So it sounds to me like you guys renegotiated that part. So what else were you unhappy with? Because that was solved by your great idea to go to the XXX sites. So what else were you unhappy
Well,
with?
I felt that we could have did a better job of getting it on the desired sites that I wanted them to be on. I don't feel like we tried hard enough to get it on those sites, and it took a very long time for that
Show me
to
where you
transpire.
tell her, well, show me where you tell her, let's try to put it on those sites. I'll clean it up. I'll give you different content. They won't be in scantily clad bikinis. Where do you say that? I don't see you saying that. You figured that you would put it on the sites where you're going to make money. That's the point, is to make money, right? So, you come up with the idea. She's fine with it. That's what ends up happening. And then you don't want to abide by the contract. What's your counterclaim for $6,000? Tell me about that. In lost wages,
Well,
I guess lost profits.
Basically, if my site had stayed up, I could have made a lot of money from people visiting my sites, because it was like during the Corona lockdown when a lot of people were just in their house for maybe 2 or 3 months. So I had an opportunity to have millions of people possibly visit the site and probably order the movie. So I lost all that.
It could have been a millionaire.
Like a captive audience.
Right. So.
Right.
So why didn't you just pay her the $2,500 that you had agreed to pay her once it went on social media sites?
I'm just saying, I didn't never see that.
Okay. So I see in the text where you agree to $1,500 for the trailer. You agree to the $50 and the $75 for setting up the social media. Setting up what? His own social media.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then there should have been 30 days at $66 in profit if you hadn't breached the agreement by not paying that amount that you were supposed to pay at the time that you were supposed to pay it. So she would have had $1,980 in profit, and that is a total between the $1,980, the $1,500 for the trailer, and the other two small amounts is $3,605. He's already paid you $1,100, so that means there's a deficit of $2,505, Ms. Taylor. Now, Mr. Frazier, you have a claim against her for the $6,000 because what? Because you didn't read what she had sent you, which was so abundantly clear that you had to make a $2,500 payment. You didn't do it. And then, in fact, in your answer to the complaint, what you're saying is, I gave her $1,000. That should cover many days of advertising. No, because part of that is profit for her, and the rest of and another chunk of what you owe her is a trailer. I showed you your own words. You had no answer for me. So on your counterclaim against her, it's a pity because, Corona, and people were home. And people are watching, they're on the internet all day long, and they're watching people's court like wildfire right now. All right? So I get it. I get your complaint, but it's your own fault that you didn't get to capitalize on that. On your counterclaim, $0. On her claim against you, $2,505 additional dollars. That is my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff is going to get about half of what she was suing for, $2,500 instead of $5,500. Mr. Frazier, you're getting nothing for your countersuit, the $6,000 countersuit. How do you feel about what the judge just decided?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. All right. I'm sorry you didn't win your lawsuit, but hey, you don't win them all. Ms. Taylor, how about you? You're only getting half of what you wanted, but you seem happy. You're smiling.
I'm happy. That's actually what I was owed. That's fine. I didn't expect to get the money that wasn't going to actually come to me. So I'm actually very happy.
One other quick question. What happened in your run for Congress? Did you get any votes? What happened?
I did receive some votes. Thank you very much. I actually did not win, but I did receive votes. And clearly I must have been a little distracted during my race with all of this craziness and trying to, run my own business.
Okay. Well, good luck next time. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see what the judges have to say about this. It's time for another session now of After the Verdict.
Shalira Taylor, the plaintiff in this case, a very sharp and poised woman. She ran for Congress. That takes a lot of guts, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it does. It does.
And certainly in this case, as you went through the evidence, it looks like there was a contract, but the actual performance of the contract became impossible because the content was too racy, and you found that by their conduct and their actions and their communications, they modified it, right?
Right. And that happens sometimes when you're in the midst of a business negotiation. You have to pivot, and the question is, if at that point he had texted, "I'm not paying the same rate for these other sites," that'd be fine. Or "I don't want my content on these sites," but it was actually his idea to put them on all those sites.
Right.
So Margie wants to know this. Hey, Harvey, can a landlord all of a sudden charge a COVID cleaning fee if it's not in the lease I signed? The answer is no. You are not responsible for maintaining that apartment beyond what the lease provides. And if the landlord needs to do general measures, especially in public areas, to keep things safe, it's on the landlord, unless there is some kind of homeowners association where they can impose a fee. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case are inside the courtroom.
This is the plaintiff, Marilyn O'Neill. She says she rented an apartment from the defendant, and on the move-in day with her movers standing there ready to unload the truck, no one answered the door to let her in and give her the keys. She texted the defendant, and the woman responded saying she could no longer rent the place to her. Huh? She had to get a storage room. She was homeless, and this woman owes her $5,000. That's why she's suing. This is the defendant, Laura Millard. She says the plaintiff called her after agreeing to take the apartment and told her she didn't have the money. So she told her to call when she did. Owe her $5,000? Come on. She's accused of rotten renting. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for mental anguish and lost time from work.
All parties, please use your right hands. Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says she showed up at the front door of the defendant's apartment building, all ready to move in with all her stuff. And she was told, "Get out of here, you ain't moving in." But the defendant says she tried calling the plaintiff to tell her the deal was off, but she never answered the phone or the messages she left. It's the case of you're a real double-crosser.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. O'Neill, tell me what happened.
Okay, I placed an ad for an apartment, and the defendant called me, contacted me to say that she has an apartment. My son went to view it in Nassau County. I was residing in New Jersey. He said it looks good. On May 30th, I drove from New Jersey to Nassau County to Massapequa to view it and accepted the apartment. We had several text messages in between.
That was on what date?
On May 30th.
Okay. And what day were you going to take it?
As of June 30th.
Do you get a lease?
No, the defendant said, well, once you move in, why don't we go through paperwork and we'll talk about that if you want.
Why was there no lease, Ms. Millard?
Because I was not even going to give a lease. It was going to be on a month-to-month. I never discussed a lease.
Okay. What exactly was this? A room in your house?
It was 2 rooms upstairs in my home.
Okay. And according to Ms. O'Neill, you guys had verbally agreed on everything. And Ms. O'Neill, you actually had the moving truck with all your items in front of the apartment. And what happens?
I received a text. I texted the defendant, and she said, I can't talk right now. Then she texted me to say that she had to renege on the apartment. I never received an actual reason as to why. I was in shock. The movers were upset. I had to put everything into storage. And during
You ended up putting the stuff in storage, like the movers themselves have storage, and you ended up putting the stuff in storage there, correct? Yes. So what'd you do? What did you do?
After that, I was so stunned. I could not believe what occurred because we had agreed. And I went to a hotel. I called my son. I said, go to a hotel, put everything in storage. And we took it day by day. thinking something will be worked out here. Nothing was ever worked out at all.
Okay. Well, where are you living now?
Right now, I am staying with a friend in Mineola.
Okay. So did you ever get an apartment?
No, I have tried numerous applications. I have. The problem is either I have too much income for the affordable or I don't have enough.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Millard, why don't you explain to me how someone can have a moving truck filled with all of their items and then you cowardly send them a text saying, I can't talk right now, but I'm reneging on our deal. Tell me about that.
Well, that's not exactly true, Your Honor. I did try and get in touch with Miss O'Neill several times, even on the day that she was supposed to move in, and I started at 7:45 in the morning calling her, but she changed her phone number and she never ever gave me the new phone number.
Wait, but just a second, hold on. Why is it that on June 30th, the day she's supposed to move in, you text her, make sure the movers use masks? She's got $1,750 in movers costs. She's standing there in front of your door, and what you say to her, she texts you on June 10th, June 30th is definite. I got the moving company. My phone crashed waiting for a new one. You can message me back or I will call you later. So all these calls you're talking about, she put you on notice that she couldn't do that. You say, okay, great. Then on June 19th, can you text me? That's true. Can you text me when you leave New Jersey? On June 19th, what's happening? That you say, can you text me when you leave New Jersey so that I can be there when you, you're telling her to text her, and she answers you on June 19th, can I call you at noon? And you say yes. Then you say to her on June 30th, what time will you be leaving New Jersey? Not, hey, why didn't you call me back? So you guys must have talked. And then you say to her on June 30th at 8:08 in the morning, what time will you be leaving New Jersey? Please make sure
she never got those texts, Your Honor. She never got
it doesn't matter. Don't you see what I'm pointing out? Your plan at 8:08 on move-in day was not don't move. Your plan was make sure the movers wear masks. That's your plan. Inquiring minds want to know what happened between 8:08 and when she texts you, movers left here for 20 minutes. And you say at 12:38, I've been trying to call you. There's a problem at the house and I have to renege on the apartment. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I can't talk right now. What happened between 8:08 and 12:38 that made you change your mind?
My neighbor came out and said, Laura, you cannot rent any rooms in your house. The town regulations are the only permit you can get is a mother-daughter permit, which only would allow a related person.
So there's no such thing as roommates in your town? Just a second. There's no such thing as roommates?
No, according to the
Well, that's bizarre. But I don't really care. That's a you problem. That's not a Ms. O'Neill problem.
Okay.
If that's the case and that's your reason, then you should have looked into that before renting it out to her verbally.
You're correct.
All right, but who do you think's going to eat $1,750 in movers? I mean, the lady's there with a moving truck. You think she's going to be out $1,750 in movers? I mean, come on, Ms. Millard. You know? All right, so let me talk to you, Ms. O'Neill, because according to you, your life is over. Your life is over now. You're 76, you can't find anywhere to live, and your life is over. That's ridiculous. Your life is not over, okay? You look great, you look healthy, you got 2 sons living in the community where you want to live. Your life's not over. You end up getting a hotel room instead of finding a different place to live or getting an Airbnb temporarily, which would have been a lot cheaper than the hotel room. You're suing for the hotel room. You're suing for storage, but not 1 month of storage, which, by the way, was free because you used the moving company storage. You're suing for 3 months of storage. Like, how long does it take a person to get an apartment? You've chosen not to get an apartment because you have an arrangement now with whoever you're living with. That's great. But here's the deal, though. You're entitled to come to court and sue for damages, but you're not entitled to make it ching, ching, let that cash register ring to the tune of the statutory maximum, okay? When your stuff is in the moving van and you're taking it over to the storage room, grab some clothes there. You're suing for $76, not even that much, but you're suing for $76 in clothing because you haven't been able to get to your clothing. But it's been 5 months. Of course you're getting to your clothing. And then you're suing for all of your meals, but you got to eat anyway. And you're suing for moving costs, which I am 100% with you on that. And you're also suing for what it costs you to put in another ad and applications fees. Those are appropriate, I believe.
She never contacted me to ask me, hey, Laura, pay for my moving. She never contacted me to do that.
She shouldn't have to.
At some point.
She shouldn't have to.
Okay.
She shouldn't
Well,
have to.
right.
You knew it was a professional moving company out there. You knew that you had messed the whole thing up, with not finding out about how to do things right beforehand. I'm ordering you to pay the amount for the moving company. I'm not going to order you to pay storage in August and September because I believe that the only right that you had was housing for 30 days. You didn't have a lease. And I believe that you are entitled to the $60 application fees for trying to find another place and the $42 for the ad that you put in after that. All that I do believe it, but clothes and food, that's something that you're spending anyway, and pain and suffering I'm not going to do. And because this is a contracts case. I mean, even though I know that I'm sure this was disruptive to you. I am finding in your favor the amount of $1,852. But, Ms. Millard, we have a counterclaim that you have against her for $5,000. What's that about?
Okay. Miss O'Neill stopped all the mail coming to my house. For a whole week, I didn't get any mail, which was very unusual. I went to the post office, and the postal clerk, who, understand, it's a very small little post office. He's the only guy there. And he said to me, we have a stop on the mail in your house. So I said, okay. He showed me the document, and it said, stop all mail.
All mail
what
instead of just her
mail?
name.
So
I know exactly the boxes that you're talking about because my 18-year-old just moved from the house and she marked for the whole family. So I haven't gotten mail in about a week. But it's at least going to my daughter, so I'm going to get it. Ugh.
So I called the police. They came to the post office. That he interviewed the clerk. I sent you the police report. They called Marilyn O'Neill, and she said, and the postal clerk said she was there the day before. And he said, I gave her a stack of mail. So the police officer called Marilyn.
Why is the postman giving her your mail?
Of course, it said all.
But she's not you. She's not even living there. I can just go in and change all.
She filled out the card.
No, but you're not.
Had her name.
Right, but why would they give her your mail in person like that?
Of course, it says all.
It's crazy. Ms. O'Neill, do you have Ms. Millard's mail?
No, I do not. I do not. It was handed to me incorrectly, just like you said, Judge, and I gave it back.
When did you do that?
The same moment, the same day, within 5 minutes of receiving it from the clerk. I walked outside. The lobby was getting crowded because of COVID. I wanted to be outside to look at the mail. I took the rubber band off. This is not my mail. I walked back into the clerk and put it on the counter. I said, you gave me the wrong mail. He put it aside. That was it. I left. The officer called me. I was astounded. And I want to say, how dare the defendant actually accuse me of a federal offense? How dare you?
Well, the clerk says you didn't return her mail. That's what the clerk says. The clerk was questioned by the police, and the postal clerk says, I gave her the bundle, and she never came back with any of Ms. Millard's mail. That's how she dares.
And now my identity has been compromised, and I'm waiting for a federal license from...
Why?
Because she has my mail. Because she has my mail. There were 8 pieces of mail in there. I'm waiting for a federal license from the Department of the Treasury. I never received it. And
okay. Do you have any legitimate evidence that your identity has been compromised? Has Ms. O'Neill run out and applied for a credit card with your identity?
I don't know.
Well, then you don't have proof. So on your counterclaim, no, we're done. On your counterclaim against her, 0. Because apparently the police didn't proceed on it either because it's very hard to prove when you have a clerk who supposedly handed her mail he shouldn't have and then says, oh, she never returned it. And then you have her saying, I walked back in and returned it.
Okay.
So
you know what?
What amount of damages would there be? You have then go get her arrested for the crime. See how that goes. I'm
might do
going to
that.
award her the $1,852 in damages, but the damages you're talking about are completely speculative. You cannot
Okay.
prove the damages you're talking about. Verdict for the plaintiff, $1,852 on your counterclaim 0. Good luck.
So the plaintiff recovers a portion of the $5,000 she was suing for. Ms. Millard, the defendant, loses her countersuit. Ms. Millard, I gather you must have felt terrible on the day she was trying to move into the house. The movers were out there and they couldn't get in. How did you feel?
Not only did I feel terrible, I spent the whole next day trying to find her suitable housing to help her.
You must have really felt terrible.
I
You
felt
put her in a very
horrible.
tough position, no question. Yeah.
Well.
Ms. O'Neill, you were suing for $5,000. You don't get $5,000, Ms. O'Neill. How you feel about what the judge awarded?
Oh, I'm glad to be awarded. I do feel that I deserve more because, the text messages in there when she said agree, to me that was an agreement for me to rent. She told me many things. All her testimony today was fabricated, and I'm trying to use a nice word.
All right. Let's hope it works out for you. So you get $1,852. That'll do it for this case. Let's join the judges now. Here they are.
You have no written lease. You get what we call at common law a tenancy at will, right? Which means you get 30 days.
Month to month.
And at the landlord's option, it can be renewed month to month, right?
Or whatever term the agreement was. But if there is no agreement, then it's month to month.
But certainly as a landlord, you're selling that leasehold interest in your property, and you damn well better know what you're selling and whether it's available. You can't wait until the moving truck is at the threshold and the guys are getting ready to take the furniture off the truck and go, uh-oh.
I
no.
guess I really didn't have a right to do that.
Right, absolutely. I mean, the defendant in this case was faced with a choice in that moment. And the choice was, do I take my chances with the town and getting fined or sanctioned by them? Or do I take my chances with plan B, which is just send her packing and say, hey, get out of here, I can't rent to you. And then maybe she won't sue me, maybe she will sue me. Well, she sued her to try to get the money back.
Yeah, and truly, I'm sure she felt bad, but she didn't feel that bad. Because if I had a moving van in front and I knew that I had cost somebody that kind of money, I would try to work with them to
Well, the
figure
third
something.
option was to let her stay there for free, I suppose.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't be in contravention of anything if you let her stay there for free, but I guess that kind of defeats the purpose.
Right, and then the whole mail nightmare. Well, you've been through the same thing.
Yes, exactly. Right. You and I have
One
been
day
through this.
the mail didn't come at our house, and then the next day there was no mail, and the next day...
And then I called the post office and was indignant that it was some mistake, and then the post office asked me, who's Sophia Schlesinger? Yeah, so I knew which kid it was.
Well, federal offense.
Federal offense for Sophie.
So Amy wants to know this. Hey, Harvey, if you were in a relationship with someone who let you borrow furniture and then asked for it back 2 years later after you broke up, are you required to give it back? Here's the thing. If you tell them, come pick up your furniture, and they just don't do it, and you've waited 2 years, at a point it becomes abandoned. But you should say to them, look, if you don't pick it up within, give them a reasonable period of time, a month or 2 weeks or whatever, then I will consider it mine and I'm probably going to either get rid of it or sell it. You can do that. But if it's not abandoned, usually 2 years is within the statute of limitations for something like this. And if they demand it back, you really don't have a legal claim to it if it's not abandoned. So remember this abandonment thing, because you should take steps at a point to tell them, pick it up or else it's mine. And if it's mine, I can do with it whatever I want. We'll see you next time.